2024 is nearing its end, and as every Lego Star Wars set and minifigure for this year has been released, I decided to make a list of the best Star Wars minifigures that we have seen this year. According to Brickset, there were 64 Lego Star Wars minifigures that released this year, and between them all I compiled a list of what I think are the 10 best Star Wars minifigures. Of course, videos like these tend to be very subjective, so drop your thoughts down below. At the 10th position, I included the latest version of Moff Gideon, who was included in the Paz Vizsla vs Moff Gideon set released in June. This is quite a good minifigure and definitely a character I wasn't expecting to see this year, but definitely a great addition nonetheless. Despite this being a great minifigure and a worthy top 10 minifigure, there are some things I would have wanted different in this character, specifically the helmet. The helmet feels a little bit too wide, as looking at the actual helmet, it has more of a standard Mandalorian shape, and even though a brand new mold is nice for this character, I would have preferred simply the previous spiked Mandalorian helmet mold for this character. An extra cape would be perfect as well, to switch out with the jetpack included, and some arm printing could be nice too, as Mandalorian characters typically get arm printing these days. Nien Nunb is introduced into Lego Star Wars this year as an exclusive anniversary minifigure included in the Desert Skiff set. The set it is included in is grossly overpriced, but as many people wanted this minifigure really badly, people bought the set regardless of its ridiculous price. The minifigure itself is really good, with a brand new head mold that just looks so good for this character. It is surprising that we have never seen him in Lego Star Wars before though, and it is quite unfortunate that his character is most likely tied to this anniversary set now, as it would be so cool to see him in a Return of the Jedi based Millennium Falcon set in a few years. Regardless, a very good minifigure that I am glad Lego finally made. Cal Kestis was probably the most anticipated minifigure that released this year, and although it was a very good minifigure as well, it wasn't as good as it could have been. This minifigure was an anniversary character in the Star Destroyer playset, and to many the only reason to buy this brand new $160 set. This is a character fans have been begging to see in Lego Star Wars for a long time, and the minifigure we did end up seeing didn't really meet my expectations, notably because we didn't see a poncho included, and another thing that should have been included is a BD-1 droid piece, as we saw Leia's droid with her minifigure. Regardless of all this, the minifigure is far from terrible, and definitely makes it into the list of best minifigures of this year, with good torso and leg printing, a face print that represents Cal fairly well, and just overall a good addition as an anniversary minifigure, as we are not likely to see any playsets on the Jedi Fallen Order games. Kelleran Beck is another character I really wouldn't expect to see in Lego Star Wars, but his inclusion in the Bark Speeder Escape set released on the 1st of May was definitely a welcome surprise. Despite this not being the most exciting set of the year, this is definitely one of the best minifigures Lego has introduced in 2024 as a brand new Jedi Knight with a beautiful new torso piece. His torso piece is incredibly unique in the sense that it has these faint runic symbols on the edges of the Jedi robes, and that tiny addition is just so good and accurately represents this character from The Mandalorian Season 3. Kelleran Beck in general is such a cool character to have appeared in The Mandalorian as a newly introduced Jedi played by Ahmed Best, notably the actor of Jar Jar Binks in the prequels. Some white wraps printed on the lower part of the arms, and this would have been one of the best Jedi minifigures ever. The newest Ahsoka Tano minifigure depicts her dressed in the white robes we see in the later episodes in the Ahsoka show. This was a minifigure I was really excited about, and the minifigure looks really good, and I think it deserves a spot on this list. Ahsoka is one of the most popular Star Wars characters in modern media, and we have seen her a lot in Lego recently, and we'll be seeing more of her really soon as well. Ahsoka's newer minifigures are notable for their added arm printing, which is always really good to see on any Lego Star Wars minifigure, but the white printing unfortunately looks a little bit washed out on the orange arm piece, and this is something that would easily be fixed if it were a dual molded arm piece, although I don't think we ever saw something like this in Lego Star Wars before. Regardless, I really like this minifigure and like the all-around detail we see on her, and I am excited to see how the new Ahsoka Tano minifigure will look like next year. Reaching the top 5, I included Saw Gerrera. Once again, an anniversary minifigure of a character we have never seen before. Saw Gerrera in this form is a notable character in Rogue One and Star Wars Rebels, and he wasn't a character I expected to see in Lego Star Wars ever. This is a near perfect minifigure in my opinion, although I think he might be a little bit too green. I'm not sure, he looks a little bit too vibrant compared to the original source material. The detail all across the torso and leg piece is really nice though, and the added larger armor piece fits perfectly on this character. And I love this piece overall as it just works so well with larger armored characters to give them that extra bit of life and accuracy. This minifigure was included in the Sith Infiltrator set, which is one of the best anniversary sets this year, and I think it deserves this spot on the list. Once again, a character using this larger armor piece, I included the latest Paz Vizsla minifigure, included in the same set with Moff Gideon. This minifigure isn't significantly different compared to the previous version of this character, but regardless, I think it is such a good character to see a remake of, as the previous minifigure was quite good and very expensive to get on the aftermarket. This minifigure has an improved helmet print and some slight detail changes, and it is overall a really good improvement. Arm printing would have been really nice on this character as well though, as once again Mandalorians tend to get arm printing these days, but with the larger armor piece it makes sense why Lego didn't go the extra mile to add that arm printing. Before reaching the top 3, if you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing, as it supports this channel so much. This year we were fortunate enough to see a brand new version of Grand Admiral Thrawn, based on the Ahsoka show. This minifigure, alongside the white-robed Ahsoka minifigure, was seen in the Duel on Peridea set, and despite this set being rather bad, it had really good minifigures. Thrawn is of course no exception, and definitely the reason most people will buy this set. This brand new minifigure is a good improvement from the beloved Rebels Thrawn minifigure seen in 2017, and the only flaw on this character is the missing clip on each side of the torso, but this is so minor that it really doesn't matter that much. The inclusion of dual molded legs on this minifigure is so nice to see as well, as dual molded legs are quite rare in Lego Star Wars and usually only seen in the larger 18+ sets, and its inclusion here just looks so good on this minifigure. The runner-up in this video is Jedi Vader, seen in the Dark Falcon set. I am not the biggest fan of the Dark Falcon, despite it being considered as one of the best sets of this year. But the minifigures included were really good, and Jedi Vader was definitely the standout minifigure to me. This concept of a white Darth Vader has not only been seen in the Rebuild the Galaxy show, but also in the comics books and other material. This is a minifigure nobody really ever expected to see in a normal playset, and would rather imagine it as something that would be made as an exclusive minifigure for something such as Comic-Con or a gift with purchase for May the 4th, or something of the likes. But no, we got it in a widely available set, which is really cool. Many argue that we should have seen blue eyes on the helmet, but I disagree, and I like the all-white look, as I also prefer the all-black look on the Darth Vader helmets compared to the red eyes people are hoping to see someday as well. What I think is the best Lego Star Wars minifigure that released in 2024 is the Darth Malak 25th anniversary minifigure, released in the R2-D2 buildable character set this year. Darth Malak is known as Revan's apprentice and later the antagonist in the Knights of the Old Republic video game, and a character I never expected to see in Lego Star Wars, as we don't see any sets or minifigures based on the Old Republic anymore, until now at least. This minifigure begins the question whether we'll see the Old Republic return to Lego in some way again, perhaps when the new game comes out in a few years. Looking at the minifigure, it is just the perfect depiction of Malak with everything you could possibly hope to see. A brand new mold is used for his jaw brace piece, and underneath you even see his printed mouthpiece where his jaw has been slashed out. The red outfit looks perfectly done, and the inclusion of the thinner cape is perfect for this minifigure as well. I was really impressed with what Lego did with this character, and I think it is the best we have seen this year. We have seen a good amount of really well done minifigures this year, but comment down below what is your favorite and what you would change on this list. Other than that, God bless you and cheers.